Shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, Waharaka Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Greatmillstone. And honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And you gotta understand that when you're dealing with the so-called white man, you're dealing with the devil. You're dealing with a liar, a deceiver. And what Esau does is he loves to spin a false narrative to the world, propaganda, to flatter himself in the eyes of the world, you know, to be the man of virtue, you know, the man of moral standard. You know, he represents everything which is good. He represents peace. He represents goodness. He represents righteousness. He represents freedom. When it's the actual opposite. That's the reality, man. And he still to this day, you know, he's going to continue, you know, to push that narrative. And nowhere is that narrative pushed more so than in America. You know, America, you know, if you look at what they claim to represent, you know, the American values, it's bullshit. You know, it's a false narrative that they're pushing in the earth, because the actions of America is anything but those values they claim to represent. But that's the nature of the devil, you know. This is Psalms 144:8, you know. Whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Right? That's their power, man, to just spread falsehood lies, you know, and repeat those lies over and over and over again, and trying to manifest those lies as truth, as reality. But it's not true. So here we have an example, right? This individual here speaking. This is a guy, Kevin McCarthy, right? So you can see what he is really. He's out there. Believe in America. This is what we stand for. Let's listen to this devil.
Peace without freedom is meaningless. Think for
whatever that means. Like, freedom is just like a buzzword they throw out there. Peace without freedom is meaningless. No, it's not. Peace means peace, and it's a lack of war. Like, what are you talking about? Shut up, you know? It's just these devils, man.
Peace without freedom is meaningless. Think for one moment. It is human nature that we all crave peace, but we never attain it unless we have freedom. In every single war that America has fought, we have never asked for land afterwards, except for enough to bury the Americans who gave the ultimate sacrifice for that freedom we went in for.
You know, it's just this false narrative that the American military is God's army. They're an army of righteous warriors, and they're out there fighting for the babies and freedom and the poor and the sick and the maimed. And it's nice bullshit. The American military is out there enforcing an empire which is basically destroying the earth and oppressing the peoples of the planet for corporate greed. Right? The military industrial service complex. All right, the American military is a pawn of the banking elites to further their goals and their ideals. This is not there to represent righteousness or represent freedom. What kind of bullshit is this, man? That's what they're fighting for? Freedom? The freedom of the world. They're fighting to free the world. What the fuck, man? This is all bullshit. This is Captain America, Superman comic book bullshit. Fraud. Lies. All right? No, you're fighting in actual fact to further the evil rulership of the banking elites and the corporations and the governments that they control.
Welcome. But the basis of their definition is wrong. Intervention is not just military. You see, I believe the greatest strength of America is not the aircraft carriers. It's not the precision weapons. America is more than a country. America is an idea.
Yeah. All right, mate. Yo, that idea is gonna be destroyed with thermonuclear missiles, man. All right. Okay. Now, straight away, people were clapping back, right? So if we read here, readers added context they thought people might want to know. Yeah, I mean the context that's gonna be added right now is the truth that much of the U.S. was conquered from Native Americans. Okay, so they, the America itself, right, was gained through war, through bloodshed. All right, against our brothers, man, Gad and Reuben, but mainly Gad. Right, and that was prophecy. The scriptures speak about Gad, a troop shall overcome them. That was the American military. Right, Genesis 49 and 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Right, and they came in and they coveted the fields and they took them by force. Right, now in other places they might come in, destroy it, and then their corporations come in and take the land. All right. This is Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his heritage, even a man and his heritage. In fact, what came to mind just now was the economic hitman, John Perkins. Now, this guy, John Perkins, he actually was involved in that world, and he wrote a book called The Economic Hitman, and he basically shows you how the American military is part of the system of domination. All right, so this
We economic hitmen have managed to create the world's first truly global empire, and it's basically a secret empire. We do it many ways, but principally we identify a country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil, arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sisters. The money never actually goes to the country. It goes to our own corporations to build big infrastructure projects in that country that help a few very wealthy people, but don't benefit the majority of the people who are too poor to buy electricity or have cars to drive on the highways, and yet they're left holding a huge debt that they can't repay. So we go back at some point and say, you can't pay your debts. Give us a pound of flesh. Sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies. Vote with us on the next critical UN vote. Allow us to build a military base in your backyard. Something along these lines. And when we fail, the jackals go in and either overthrow or assassinate these leaders. And if the jackals fail, as they did in Iraq, they're going to be sent in the military.
The American military is a tool. This guy's out here chatting wet.
I don't think the failure is capitalism. I think it's a specific kind of capitalism that we've developed. We've created what I consider a mutant, viral form of capitalism. And this mutant form of capitalism, which I think is really a predatory form of capitalism, has created an extremely unstable, unsustainable, unjust.
Yeah, that was a point. You know what I mean? This guy, like, go talk to John Perkins, man. All right, but let's continue reading here. It says, in addition, the U.S. acquired numerous territories through conflict, including 1848, Mexico ceded 55% of its territory. 1898, Spain ceded Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. Right? 1899, American Samoa. All right? So these guys, man, are taking the piss. This guy, the American military is never known they have. Right? So what are you talking about? You're just trying to perpetuate this moral superiority, this false image of the so-called white man and their establishments as being good. All right, that's why they always have to talk about freedom. But these guys don't believe in freedom. And all of this, one of the main reasons they're allowed to do all this is because of that white Christ, that white Jesus. And it allows them to hide behind that and push these bullshit narratives like they're good people, man. Right? 2 Corinthians 11 and 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. And that's what we've seen in the world. Here it is. We got the devil. Esau Edom is actually put himself forward as being the man of light, the man of righteousness, the man of moral standard and regard, who represents righteousness and goodness and freedom and hope, and no, it's bullshit, man. All right. Therefore is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Right? But let me say this, man. Esau is being revealed. You see all that bullshit that Esau's pushed out, yeah, and that narrative that he keeps trying to spin, yeah. He's being revealed in these last days. Like, the majority of the world is waking up to the actual fact that this man is plain and simple really just the devil. And all of this bullshit that he spews, all this self-righteousness, all this flattery that he pushes out there, it really ain't working no more. The whole world straight away can see through it. That's why even on Twitter, straight away people are onto him. Like, hold on, this is some bullshit. Hold on, this is some bullshit, man. Like, what are you talking about? Freedom and all this bullshit. Shut up, man. You don't believe in no freedom for the people. You're an enslaver. Okay? That's technically true that America never asked. You know, what's this guy talking about, man? These dudes are real demons, man. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that's who this man really is. The idea of America is wickedness. That's what it is. The idea of rebellion against Yahawah, Yahawashi. That's what America is. The ideas are bigger than the countries. The idea, yeah, it's the idea of witchcraft, the idea of rebellion. That's why the Lord is going to destroy that idea out of the earth, man. Because that's what America really represents, wickedness and evil. All right? Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. Right? And this man's being exposed, man. Right? His hypocrisy is being exposed, especially with this whole Palestine thing. It just gave the whole world PTSD. You know, the whole world's PTSD got triggered, and everyone realizing that this man hasn't changed. For all this peaceful narrative he pushes out there, that he's just the same devil as he always has been. Right? Just a covetous demon. All right, who's the villain, but at the same time wants to wear the mask of the hero. It don't work like that. The devil, man. All right. So if that, I'm gonna say shalom.